Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and we are back with more Supergirl reactions, and this time we are back with episode number 13 of season 6. Last time we had easily one of the best episodes in the season, arguably one of the best in the show, just one of the most well executed in basically every way. Co-written by Ozzy herself, and then directed by David Ramsey as well, and that kind of aided into. I believe in some way it could have aided into John Diggle himself actually showing up. But then you see, I haven't been reacting to it, but I've been playing catch up with both the Flash and Batwoman because I think I was just so far behind on those, and I think the idea of actually catching up through reactions kind of made me feel like I was going to take forever to get through those, and it's like it's later this month that I think at least Batwoman is actually kind of slated to actually come back with season 3, and I've yet to finish season 2 as well. So I think I figured I'll just kind of play catch up with at least like most of the remainder episodes. I think like in time maybe I might do the finale reactions, like the reactions to the last 2 episodes of Batwoman and the Flash, but besides from that, I've just been doing catch up, and it's been really great, and it's been really fun and everything. But he showed up in the Flash. John Diggle showed up in the Flash. They helped out with various stuff over there with all the different kind of the forces they were dealing with, and then on Batwoman 2, he showed up with to actually help with Luke as well. Like when Luke came back, when he woke up out of his coma, he showed up there at the bar and everything. I was like, wow, this guy just showed up everywhere. He showed. I mean, I have yet to catch up on Legends, and I think I would not be in like that surprised at this point if he somehow managed to show up on Legends too. If he somehow managed to show up on Legends, then I would not be surprised in the slightest. But I think he's just like ever since he got that damn ring, ever since he got that ring, he turned into like the Nick Fury of the Arrowverse, just going around to various shows and doing what he can and helping out and everything. And it's like I can't help but wonder, like, this has to culminate to, this has to lead up to something. I think, I've heard that the Flash, I haven't really heard much about that. I think that, like the Flash is having some kind of, the next season of the Flash will actually be, at least, like, the opening few episodes of the next season of the Flash will actually be some kind of crossover event with various kind of characters from different shows actually coming over, like some kind of crossover event, of some kind. I'm not too kind of like I've as part of my efforts to avoid spoilers. I'm pretty kind of blank on the details and exactly who's going to be showing up. But I think I've heard they are actually trying to bring in heroes from different shows to do some kind of opening crossover type thing. So that's very good. So I think I'm wondering maybe then if John and the Ring might have something to do with that, or if he's going to play like a bigger part in that or something. So he's been going around. He's not even been doing any recruiting, any kind of he's not really been teasing much. But he's just been going around and actually doing stuff, and he's been he's just been showing up in the most surprising and in the sneakiest of ways. So seeing him in Supergirl, and these appearances aren't really connected either. He doesn't reference going and go he never references going to like having seen some of the team before he makes some kind of appearance in any of the shows. So I think it's like fairly disconnected appearances and stuff. But he shows up, he does his thing, and then he still still kind of has a swift exit. So yes, I think with Supergirl, I think it was because I knew that episode was actually going to be directed by David Ramsey himself. So I thought, oh, maybe that kind of gave him some leeway to actually put John Diggle in there too, and actually having him connect to Kelly and stuff. But then, yes and no. Yes and no. I think yes because that's very much possible, but then also no because he's actually been cameoing in other shows too in very very kind of cool ways. So we had David David Ramsey showing up again as John Diggle. But yeah, Kelly's debut as Guardian, one of the most glorious character introductions I've ever seen in this show and in the Arrowverse as a whole. Ozzy nailed it with the writing, and she even visually, like her suit, just her suit. I love her suit. I love her and her suit so much. And then the new shield and everything. She just kind of she absolutely smashed it as Guardian, and I cannot wait to see what the rest of the season holds for her in being Guardian, and also kind of any kind of like teasing that may or may not happen in regards to a spin-off. with her and whoever else. But yeah, she's amazing as Guardian. She's amazing as Guardian. So I am very excited to see exactly what like the future of being the Super Friends holds for her. And she kind of came in. She kind of had she had an episode dedicated to her, like her humanity and her vulnerability and her kind of openness and everything, and then like her history and who she is and where she comes from. And it's honestly one of the most kind of beautifully written and beautifully executed kind of episodes of the season so far and of the show so far. So really cannot wait to see where that kind of takes us. So that would be cool, seeing Guardian actually working with the rest of the Super Friends now, actually working alongside them and doing some partnering stuff would be cool. So that would be fun. And then we had, I think, it was the Councilwoman who actually gained some powers too in the aftermath of the rubble being fifth dimensionally powered. She gained some powers and she kept on manifesting stuff and then draining other people of their life and everything. So she had to be stopped. So that was that thing. And then yeah, I think there was not really much else that went on. Can't really. I think there might have been some stuff with Nixley and the orb, but then that was really minor, and some stuff about Alina kind of still kind of working through her magic, her newfound magic tricks and everything. But then even that stuff was minor too. So it was like a predominant, as it should have been. It was a predominantly kind of Kelly Olsen centric episode, and I loved it to bits and pieces. So yeah, that was episode 12. So on to episode number 13. Let's see how the story continues. So on to the reaction, and as you guys all know by now, this one will just be the fair use version, which is the kind of the highlights and the best bits of the episode. But if you guys want to check out the full-length reaction, then that one will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. That would be just as cool. So yeah, Supergirl, season 6, episode 13. Let's go.
Honestly, it was kind of a lot to process, so I prefer if we could just jump back into work.
Is she going to tell them about her being a witch, or her having powers now, or magical stuff?
Nixley, that's responsible for the giant cat I saw in
Definitely. Who else but Nixley? Who else but Nixley?
I was just gonna... You know her? Yeah, she's a Kryptonian witch.
A Kryptonian witch? Kryptonians have witches!
Well,
Krypton had witches!
Her name's Vida.
These magical artifacts had an effect on the cultures that grew up around
Yeah, they
them.
impacted culture.
Could be anything.
Correct. The totems are formidable.
But they're objects, right? So there's famous objects throughout history, and like culturally impactful objects throughout history. I mean, that doesn't narrow it down, but still, culturally impactful objects throughout history. Yeah, it's not, it's not going to be easy. Oh, and Mitch is there. Mitch, what is it? Mitch is looking for the totem too. Yeah, they're both looking for the totem too. Slingshot, that's pretty impactful. Slingshots are pretty impactful.
I didn't realize how much I had to process.
I mean, you don't have to talk about it unless you want to.
So thank you for the space and for the coffee.
Yes.
Always. Coffee is always great. Coffee always works. Coffee always does wonders.
Not just any slingshot, the one David allegedly used to kill Goliath.
Ah. Okay. Ah, a slingshot of courage, taking down a fucking giant. Goliath was a giant, right? I think pretty sure Goliath was a giant.
Better luck next time.
Oh, they're there too. Yeah, all the super friends are here. Oh, even Lena's here.
Cursix.
Oh no. Oh, she knows the. Oh, she's wielding it. Oh no, she's wielding it.
Troops are in the armories and stuff.
That was Dean Winchester Jr. from Supernatural. What's he doing here? That was Dean Winchester Jr. I think. His face hasn't changed at all, so I think.
How does this work exactly?
Oh, whoa, what?
Brainy, you okay?
Hush, child.
Oh, Vita's inside Brainy.
It's fine.
Oh, Vita's inside Brainy.
Did
She
you
can do
possess
that?
Brainy?
Oh boy.
It's quite refreshing to be embodied.
Oh god.
What are these? His nipples?
We need to get that.
No, thankfully not. Thankfully not.
Right. Hey, Vida.
Yes,
Vida,
ma'am.
we need your help. We accidentally broke.
Jesse's great when he's doing stuff like this. Yeah.
There wasn't anyone within a close radius when it broke would be given a boost of raw, unfiltered courage.
So everyone gets courage? What can you do with courage though? Like, courage is meant to be a good thing though, right? You get courage to do things that you're too afraid to do, so I mean, oh god, depends on what people's fears are, I don't know.
She who broke the totem must run the gauntlet alone.
Oh, she has to do it alone. So the Gauntlet is the trial, right? I think the Gauntlet must be the trial. Oh, there we go. Oh, Brainy's lost. Okay, give him some time to recover from his first possession. Well, not his first, actually, no, it's just one, like another possession.
Face the moment you lack true courage.
What does that mean?
Back when she saved Alex! Back when she saved the plane! She stopped the plane from crashing her the first time she actually became Supergirl. Yeah, she stopped the plane.
Supergirl.
Yeah, the plane Alex was on.
Plane.
Oh god, oh, way to go into the past. Way to revisit the past. A good, oh god, season 1 Alex Dennis, oh god. Oh. Oh, the nostalgia, how far we've come. How far we've come.
I don't have any cash.
Oh. Oh, geez, saving someone else now.
You're safe now.
You have failed.
Failed? Oh no, oh.
Project Bolt is too dangerous. Now, if you
Oh,
can't
these
see
people are
what you
fighting in the
have,
background
choice.
too, so everyone's getting
Wipe
close to
the
start
hard drive
picking
with you,
fights now.
And then no one can access the plans.
Face the moment you lack true courage.
The rest of the troops are in the armory, sister.
Yeah, wow, she looks good.
They await our
Oh.
command.
Yeah, pretty sure that's young
so
Dean
sure
Winchester
about
from the Supernatural finale.
I don't think these traitors are in any condition to fight.
Oh, that's the King Burpix, that's her father.
You know what that makes me?
Pissed off?
Proud, son.
Oh,
You've got spine. For a daughter to betray her father like this,
wow.
it's unforgivable.
That's really on the nose backwardsness. That's really on the nose backwardsness. Oh! Yeah, oh, this is her facing, the moment she never killed her father, and she, damn.
You have failed.
And she fails too. What are they meant to do then? Kara saved another person, she just went back and killed her father, so what are they actually meant to do? They're all facing courage too. Even the lizard has courage. Even the damn lizard gets courage, really? Oh, that's what the lizard's gonna do. The lizard's gonna turn into a dragon. It's gonna turn into a dragon, okay.
Another dragon.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah.
Sweet.
This one's mine.
Oh, she's got a some kind of lasso. She's got the sentinel lasso.
Barbecue her unless we stop it.
And can I just say how proud I am to have watched you both grow into the strong men
Oh boy, okay, oh. Is Alice hanging in there? Oh, she's hanging there, okay, she's being tossed about.
Give it to me.
Oh jeez, oh, scientists punching each other.
See that coming?
2 minutes. Hey. So,
You have 2 minutes to talk, Mr. Dragon, sir?
you've got a lot of rage. Fire.
Wow, okay, oh, there we go.
Are you trying to reason with the dragon?
She got it.
Oh,
I'm gonna get a coffee.
I know, of course you are. Yeah, get a coffee.
What happened here? The totem must have given her the courage to be dangerously optimistic.
I was gonna
and
say,
you
really,
encouraged her.
optimism is key here.
Well,
I have to say, I'm impressed by all your inspirations. Each and every one of you. How you handle yourselves. You make me feel...
I can't wake Nia. I think she's accessed a dream state deeper than she ever has before.
She has the optimism to explore her powers even
Nina
more.
told me that if I failed my gauntlet, the effects would worsen.
Brainy, he has turned into such a wonderful...
See? Come on. There's nothing to worry about.
We got this.
I'll be happier when you guys can be naturally optimistic without some totem powers overriding your brains.
I didn't have the courage to kill my father when he betrayed me. But this time, I did.
Yeah, but that's just
So
vengeance.
why didn't it work?
That's just vengeance. That's not really
Why force me to go through this?
Well, maybe you killed the wrong guy.
her brother.
Maybe you should have killed your brother.
Killed the brother.
I could never kill him.
Well, maybe that's the test.
killing the thing you hate is hard, but not nearly as hard as killing the thing you love the most.
Would that be the true test of courage? Killing someone killing someone she loves, like simply for not standing by her, for not sticking by her.
Do you really not believe in magic?
I believe in you. And in all of us. We'll defeat this. No matter what it's called.
So she believes in the power of love, friendship, and teamwork. But what about when you throw a little bit of magic into the mix too? What happens then?
Why wait?
Oh god, oh, they're creating a lightning storm. They're creating a thunderstorm. This is the Flash all over again, except probably with no superpowers. Probably with no superpowers or different forces coming out to start a whole new story.
It's coming from the totem, and you have the knowledge to help me stop it.
I'm not the only one here with access to magic.
Oh, she knows. She can tell. Yeah.
You know, there are safer alternatives like science.
Magic tramples universal laws of
Magic is just science you haven't discovered yet. I heard that somewhere. I'm not coming off that of my mind. I actually remember hearing that somewhere.
I'd love another trip.
I trusted you. And you betrayed me. You were my baby brother. There's nothing I wouldn't have done to protect you. I was your most loyal friend. And this is how you repay me. You're going to just turn away from me.
She doesn't have to kill him, she has to confront him.
Betrayed you.
She has to confront him.
Never have hurt you. I would never, ever have turned my back on you, especially for him. I failed.
Must have been
Did you though? There wasn't that voice saying you have failed. You sure you failed? Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, oh wow, she passes before Kara. She passes before Kara.
Courage to be vulnerable.
To be vulnerable. So Kara has to expose herself as Supergirl to the world then. Yeah, because she never... That was her first time as Supergirl, but not actually opening herself up as Supergirl to the world.
Where's Alex?
Don't tell me she went storm chasing. Don't tell me she went storm chasing. Oh, bummer. Oh god. Oh, she's just beating his chest. There are 6 others. There are 6 other totems. You can still catch those and win those. Yeah, she only has 1. She only has 1.
Be careful! Don't worry. I got her back. Nina said you needed backup.
Guardian's in! Guardian showed up! Oh, god damn. Oh, Sentinel and Guardian, team it up, superhero wives, superhero girlfriends, soon to be wives. Oh god. Oh, that's so cool. That's so good. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Oh boy. Oh, they're getting mind melds. They're getting mind melds.
I am going to ask the Super Friends if I can be embedded with them. I know, but think
embedded
of the
with them?
axis. And I know the hardest part is getting them to agree to it, but Kara knows Supergirl. And you don't get anywhere if you don't ask.
And Dream is set right in front of you.
I'm into it. I know you are.
Scars are cool. Scars are...
I am really, really grateful that you showed up tonight, but you really didn't have to. Honestly, I really felt like I could take on a lightning storm all by myself.
Yeah, you tried it with a dragon.
They are a bitch.
Yes.
Alex, I love you. You are a part of my life, and I am a part of yours, and that is never going to change. You are a part of my world, and a part of my team.
I don't get it. I always try to be courageous. I don't understand.
So you know I went to Newfoundland.
Oh, she's gonna open up. She's gonna tell her.
Well, it's complicated, but it turns out that she's a witch, and apparently so am I.
What? That's... Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as you can imagine, this is hard for me.
My pain is the price of the power. And with it, I will find the rest of the totems.
Great. 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 Fucking great. So, yeah, fun stuff. And I think the first thing I actually want to point out is that I think now we've officially hit that point where we can actually have Kelly and Lena in the same episode, in the same setting, without any separation, without any kind of, but still likely respecting, any, existing kind of guidelines and cautions as best they can, but then still for the story and for the sake of actually giving both characters equal treatment as they deserve. Actually having them in the same story, in the same setting, and in the same room when possible too. So that's fun. That's really fun. But yeah, so they found the first totem. Which was the courage one, and yeah, the courage one. Yeah, I mean, to begin with, I couldn't even actually kind of imagine like what kind of negative effect courage could bring. But then it's like, if you make someone overly courageous, I think it's also like it became all the more clear because once they displayed the overly courageous kind of traits and behaviors and patterns and everything, it then became more clear, oh, you've seen that before in other movies, other heroes who are overly optimistic or courageous, or who go into fights thinking they can handle more than they actually take on and stuff, or they take on more than they can actually handle, rather. So in this one, the more it happened, the more obvious it got, and we get Alex just turning into this kind of really energetic and peppy kind of hero who's ready to run into to just try and lassoing down a dragon, and then Jean didn't really become courageous. I don't really think he never really had the one courageous moment I feel like he had was him actually trying to reason with the dragon. That was it. But the rest of the time, he was just overflowing with pride. He was proud of Alex, and he was like, you've both come so far, and you've grown into such incredibly strong and powerful women, and I couldn't be more proud of how far you've come and who you are now and everything. And he's doing that, and then actually walking around and congratulating everyone. For him, it was just like being overly kind of joyful and overly kind of proud of the team and everyone he's working with, and reassuring Brainy, oh, people make mistakes all the time, it's fine, and doing all that stuff. So for him, I feel like it's a bit different. Different in that sense. I think it's also kind of reminiscent of who they are as people too. Because thing with Alex too, I think she has spent her life actually training herself for various different fights and various different kinds of fights too. So I think for her, it's actually making her being willing to take on even the biggest of threats. So then for her, her being kind of hero that she is, and being human especially as well, she has to kind of make sure that she's actually ready for any kind of environment. So for her, that's that. And then Jean has been known pretty much almost the entire show to actually be that kind of really proud and really supportive kind of space dad to the entire team and everything. So he's kind of amplified in that sense. And Brainy, I think Brainy was affected by that, but then he was making, as he so eloquently dubbed it, he was making guesstimates. And he was just kind of guessing and estimating pretty much, just all of the odds. And I think before it actually wore off on him, he never actually properly gave I think he never really went too specifics. I think for him that was actually the tell that he had, that he never actually went specific into his statistics or into any of his kind of readings or anything. So he just kind of took guesses and estimates and hoped they would actually land them in the right spot, to which it didn't. But then, the courage totem, being a slingshot surprised me. The courage totem being a slingshot definitely kind of surprised me, because they said that Vita, the Kryptonian witch, which I'll get to in a minute, but Vita said that the totems are disguised as different items on Earth, but then these items are also culturally impactful. They've been culturally impactful. They've actually they've had a significant impact on human culture since the day they were found, or since when they were first kind of branded into existence and everything. So then so that was almost like a disguise. It was like their kind of impact was almost like a disguise, but then there was no connection to what they had looked like and what they actually were. So the slingshot being a slingshot and the totem being the courage totem had no connection whatsoever. It was just a disguise and just a way to actually keep it concealed and everything. So but then the slingshot also was, at least Brainy said it was actually allegedly the one that David used to kill Goliath. I think Goliath was actually a giant that he took down. So I mean, I'm not like fully I'm not fully fluent on what the story behind David and Goliath is. I think there was I think I vaguely remember watching a Simpsons parody of it. There was actually like a rendition of that story that Simpsons did where Bart was, I think, David, and then Nelson was Goliath, and he took him down and everything. So I mean, it's the Simpsons, like the Simpsons, like many of its other kind of animated kind of other animated counterparts in TV. It's known to parody stuff and be satirical about stuff. It's really not meant to be taken seriously whenever it does do parodies or anything. So I have no idea how accurate or even how kind of trustworthy that episode is as a source of information as opposed to entertainment. Or at least including as entertainment. But yeah, the story of David and Goliath, I'm not really all that familiar. I'm not completely familiar with it, but I think David and Goliath are characters I actually know of. I'm not too familiar with them. So yeah, but apparently David used a Goliath to kill David used a slingshot to kill Goliath, and then that was that slingshot. So I guess if you're going up, if he was a giant, then if you're going up against a giant, then you need a hell of a lot of courage and stuff. So I think then the slingshot, the slingshot being the totem of courage does definitely make sense. But then the totem is also what's inside too. The totem is actually kind of like that crystal thing inside, and then once they actually pass the test, like they did, then it actually minimizes and it goes smaller until nothing but the actual crystal inside is left, and then that becomes the kind of soul piece. So, and then then also came the gauntlets, I believe they called them, the gauntlets, the trials of courage that Kara and Nixley both had to go through, and facing moments in their past where they had no courage, or facing moments where they needed courage but didn't really take it or anything. So both of their situations actually made sense. I think Nixley's one was our first kind of visual kind of display of the kind of the betrayal and trauma she suffered at the hands of her family back in the Fifth Dimension before she was cast into the Phantom Zone. So that was hers. And then Kara's one, oh god, Kara's one was just like a hammer made of nostalgia hitting you in the face. Like that one, just a rocket, a memory going like a rocket going down memory lane all the way back to season one. Seeing season one Alex again. Oh god, I think that hit me harder than anything else. Seeing season one Alex again on that plane hit me harder than anything else. So I think not even just on the plane. If we just saw season one Alex again in any capacity, then that would just take me off of the count, because how far she has come. Just seeing her from season one in any capacity with that was the perfect kind of glimpse back in time too, and also like that kind of event too, being like her being on the plane malfunctioning, and that being when Kara first used her powers openly as Supergirl, because I think she did save them when they were kids. She did save Alex when they were kids from that dodgy cop back in the Midvale episode, pre-crisis, but then it's changed now. I don't know if that changed, but I think the only thing that really did change was that Kenny was never killed. So I don't know if that means that the cop stuff never happened post-crisis or what happened. But either way, that was when she first used her powers to save Alex. But then this is the one when this event was the first time she used it to be Supergirl. She actually did it in public in front of other people. She was actually literally under the spotlight for some time. So that's when she first unveiled Supergirl, or at least teased National City with Supergirl for the first time. So that was that, and then actually saving Alex and stuff was like a huge part of it. So that was when she had courage. But then Kara just couldn't really figure out exactly what about that lacked courage, or what about things like Kara. Because then I think then she thought that maybe it's because she didn't really save anyone else. Maybe then she actually needed to be Supergirl like a bit more during that night, and actually needed to actually try and save more people and everything. So maybe then that was the key to kind of gaining her courage and passing her test. But then no, each time she tried something, each time she tried something, and then that would just kind of backfire and she'd keep failing, and then the catch-all came with the fact that, you know, the more she fails, the more courage it actually imbues all the people infected with. So then each time she failed, it just made everyone who was affected by the totem to begin with that much more courageous and that much more kind of willing and optimistic to fight for what they wanted and to actually do what they wanted and everything. So that was a hassle all on its own. And then Nixley's one was her actually being her coup failing, and then her father catching out on her coup and everything, and then, you know, being captured by her father and actually being sent to imprisonment. And then I think it was actually after the trial that she had. I think she actually did. I think I vaguely remember her mentioning like a trial in the Phantom Zone, and then that trial being the one that decided her banishment to the Phantom Zone was necessary and everything. So there was that. Yeah, I think her brother was played. I think it's because that guy's face just hasn't really changed or aged since then. I think, granted, it wasn't really that long ago. It was literally last year in November, like around this time last year. I think the actor, I think, or it could also just be like a good enough makeup job that keeps it maintained. But then I think the guys are like young enough to actually still look that way for a while. But yeah, no, like the guy's face just had actually stayed like enough the same for me to actually recognize him almost on the spot as the same guy who very, very, very briefly played Dean Winchester Jr., Sam's son from the Supernatural series finale. So yeah, and I think he's got the same hair too. I mean, with this one, it's actually like a lot more kind of tidied up and stuff. And in that one, it's pretty much the same style and like a bit more unkempt. But yeah, it's pretty much the same guy. So yeah, so he played her brother. He played her brother, and I think she definitely did. I think she definitely did mention her brother before, how he was like the kind of like the heir, and then he was respected and stuff, and even the really on the nose backwards kind of sexism and kind of just overall kind of judgment from the father, and that kind of like really backwards kind of mentality from the father overall, just being like, you know, oh, like for the son, like, oh, you attempted a coup and you tried to overthrow me and you tried to gain power, like, I'm so proud of you, you're such a strategic mastermind. And then turn to Nixley and being like, how dare you stand against me and do this, that, and the other. Like, I think it's just like, I think again, more than anything, I think it's just really on the nose. But then at the same time, it's like that's just how some people can be too. Like some people will not hide their backwards mentality. Like some people will not hide the double, like the two-facedness or the double-facedness, however you want to call it. They will not hide the kind of double-sided mentalities they have towards different people based on who and what they are and everything. So, you know, I guess like it's an accurate enough depiction. I think that's how the character is. So yes, I think in that case, like in that scenario, I think Nixley thought that, oh, maybe her lack of courage was her not having courage to actually kill her father right there and then, and like instead of actually waiting and actually crafting some kind of like revenge plan within the Phantom Zone all along until Kara came along. So yeah, no, but then in the end, I think Mitch in this episode, I don't know what it was like they made him useful. I feel like they almost made him useful. I think for the most part, actually, for the most part, they actually made him useful towards next year, like him actually crafting like robbery plans for the slingshot thing, and even him kind of analyzing her situation, actually telling her what he thought, like him being like, you know, oh, maybe you're not meant to be, maybe it's not the courage to be vengeful, or maybe it's not about the courage to actually take out the people who you hate, but it's like, you know. Maybe I think his theory being like, you know, maybe it's actually you have to have the courage to take out the people you love. So maybe then she has to maybe then she has to kill her brother who she loves more than anything, and she has to actually try and do that. But then, you know, maybe it's about actually taking your anger out of people you love, which then I think that would still be like a really really backwards kind of view on courage. Like, oh, you have to kill the people that you love just because you feel like they wronged you. But then going back into the vision, she then actually realizes, oh, it's not the case. It's the courage to be open and vulnerable with the people that you love because of how much they've hurt you and everything. So like in like her kind of going back, and like her just actually putting the knife back in and actually letting him kind of letting him handcuff her, but then actually talking about how, you know, they spent they were raised together. She raised him a little bit, and then, you know, meant so much to her, and he actually, was like a huge part of her life, and she was a huge part of his, and then they actually worked together on this coup thing, and then actually kind of trusted each other so much, and she trusted him, and then in the end it all kind of flips over, and he just kind of abandons her and turns his back on her just like that, and lets his father take the reins. So I think like definitely like the kind of display of that kind of courage to actually openly confront the people who have hurt you, and to confront the kind of the pain at its source, pretty much, or at least at one of its sources. So yes, I think so. Then that then got me wondering, like, so then if it is the courage to be open and vulnerable, maybe then Kara has to actually unveil herself as Supergirl on that day too. Because then like she showed people Supergirl who she was power wise, but then she never really kind of showed her face that much, or and she from then on she still kept the secret identity. So maybe then I thought, oh, maybe then she actually has to open up to the world about being Supergirl. Maybe it's like her living this double life thing has caused her nothing but stress pretty much the entire show. So maybe like she loves Earth and its people, and she loves National City so much and its people so much. Then maybe she has to actually have the courage to be open with the people she's protecting, and actually open with the people of the city, and actually be and tell them who she is and everything. So I mean, we've seen how like kind of how that goes down with the 100th episode, with the kind of the Lena and Supergirl kind of centric, kind of like Supercorp centric kind of episode and everything. So we saw how that went down there. Wait, was that 100 or was that 200? I think it might have been was it 200? Wasn't there another one that was one? I think it might have been 200. I think it might have been 200. I think I could be wrong. I think either 100 or 200. I'm pretty sure it's 200, but either way, that episode kind of showed us like exactly how bad things would be if Kara actually did unveil herself as Supergirl and everything. But then I think, I don't know, maybe it's still that kind of, because then it all ties back to that event too. It's always the same event too. It's like the voice specifically says taking you back to like to a point to a time in your life where you lacked, or to a time in your life where you lacked courage the most. So then it was always the same event for them. The next day it was actually being arrested by her father and actually being like let down by her brother. But then for Kara it was actually her using her powers in National City for the first time, and actually trying to save that plane and everything. So it could be about her being open about her identity. So I guess maybe we'll find out in the next episode exactly what it is, but I don't know. So yeah, then we met Vita in the Fortress of Solitude through the Kryptonian crystal matrix thing, hologram, whatever. And yeah, apparently Krypton had witches. I mean, I think I do sound and feel surprised at that, but then I do I think didn't the World Killers kind of count as witches too? I think the World Killers, but also like back in that season, I think that was season 3, when they showed the backstory of Rain being launched from Krypton at the same time as Kara was. I think Rain being launched as well. I think she was actually. I think the like those women, those like women, the disciples or whatever of Rain or of the World Goods. I think they might have been a coven of Kryptonian witches too. I'm not really sure, or at least like like witches or cultists of some kind. But I vaguely remember them being referred to as witches, or actually being acknowledged as witches in some kind of way. So I'm not too sure. But I think Vita now is the first official kind of acknowledgement we've had of witchcraft being used on Krypton. So I mean, I think witchcraft being there too is such a peculiar kind of thing to think about too. Because I think Kryptonian technology as a whole, like alien technology, is meant to be so advanced and superior to anything from Earth that automatically almost anyone would think of that being magic, and that being kind of really advanced, and that being magical and everything. So Krypton actually having witchcraft too. I mean, they had their own religion, and they had their own kind of like non-technological kind of cultures around that, or non-technological kind of ways of like non-technological lifestyles. I think is a better way to put it. So I think because of that, the witchcraft thing isn't that unbelievable. But Vita was there, so then she was one who kind of like actually knew about the and she actually confirmed that the fifth dimensional stuff, like, you know, like all those seen as energy, all those seen as energy and maybe referred to as energy, it's definitely also kind of applicable in the field of magic and in the actual kind of lore of magic too. So, which again, it definitely makes sense, because I think if you look at it from a scientific point, then obviously you might just find fifth dimensional powers to be like energy manipulation or manifestation, or like, you know, because I think especially because they can manifest something from nothing, maybe quantum energy manipulation too, like with the dark hole from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., how you can actually create like the quantum particle generator thing that the Eli and Joseph and the other scientists built, like that thing could create something from nothing, but then it was because it was actually taking quantum energy from other dimensions that it would actually use that kind of power. So so I think because of that, I think because like fifth dimensional stuff is also energy from like another dimension, it's also like in that dimension is more powerful and actually allows you to do more, and it allows them to do more things too. So, you know, I think again also kind of brings me back to this line. I think I mentioned it before, and I think it's like that line, like I think I remember reading it somewhere before, which is magic is just science that hasn't been discovered yet, and it's not been fully mastered yet. So I think, you know, magic that you see as magic is just, you know, stuff that you can't really do or like explain under a scientific lens just yet. But then, you know, I think pop culture as a whole just has kind of different kind of renditions and different definitions of what magic of what magic is, and how it can be applied and all that kind of stuff. I think one of my favorite I think one of my favorite depictions might be the line from Thor that Thor gives to Jane. I think the whole dynamic of being like a witch and being like a superhero is pretty much the same here too. Like, you know, Thor and Jane are essentially, you know, like Kara and Lena are essentially the Thor and Jane of this show. Like, one of them's like a super smart scientist who only believes in science and like the hard facts and stuff that she can see and prove with her own eyes and everything, and then the other one is a superpowered being, you know, who has all these abilities and who actually comes from a place where all these different kind of magical, all these different magical things are actually possible and everything. I think, you know, I think that kind of comparison is now never going to leave my mind. So, yeah, Kara and Lena are essentially the Thor and Jane of the Arrowverse, like the actual Supergirl kind of story in Supergirl universe. So, yeah, I mean, hey, if that doesn't get the Supercorp shippers riled up, then I don't know what else will. Well, plenty of other things are. That's actually a lie. Plenty of other things are. But hey, Thor and Jane comparison. That's another one you can actually add to the bucket of pre-existing comparisons and pre-existing kind of tropes you can add. But yeah, Thor and Jane. Well, Thor and Jane also equivalent to Kara and Lena. So yeah, and I think one of them's blonde, one of them's a darker haired scientist. I think the list goes on. The list honestly goes on. The list goes on. But yeah, no. So yeah, but I think his line to Jane, Thor's line to Jane was, you know, your people call it science, and my people. I think. Wait, what was that line? I think. Your people call it science, my people call it magic, but where I come from, no. Wait, no. You call no. He said you call it science. Your ancestors called it magic, but where I come from, they're one and the same thing. I think that's what it was. Yeah, your ancestors call it magic, and you call it science with your technology now. You call it science, but then where I come from, they're one and the same thing. So. Yeah, I think that is it's definitely one of my favorite depictions of what it is too. Like especially because of where Thor comes from too. Like, he comes from like the kind of physical manifestation, the physical representation of, you know, of Norse mythology with the Bifrost and Mjolnir and Asgardians and all these different realms and all these things. So I think, you know, I think it also kind of adds. I mean, with Supergirl, with this kind of being halfway through its final season, with this being halfway through its final season, I feel like it's really pretty late too. Because I feel like had they done this earlier on, not had they explored magic earlier on, but also actually done it with Lena earlier on, like in like an earlier season, then I think we would have actually had the chance to actually reach like a much higher, much more fleshed out kind of point as of so far. But now they've just kind of for whatever reason they waited until like literally halfway through the final season of the show to do it, and then now it feels like they're probably going to have to rush through it, or now they're going to have to actually try and do it in like a less kind of explorative kind of way for whatever reason. So, because of that, it's like I think it takes some kind of semblance of enjoyment out of it, and I think because of that, it gives them less freedom to actually do it in a way that feels like new and feels kind of more creative than what we've seen before. But either way, I guess we see what it is, and it is what it is. So yeah, but I think Lena was pretty much Lena was pretty much hesitant this entire this entire episode to actually try to actually even acknowledge that magical kind of powers or magical entities or energies could be at play here, and actually insisting that it being from the fifth dimension just meant that it was interdimensional energy that was actually being used in the third dimension and everything. So see, like, given how hard, I think she definitely made a good point of it towards the end too. Like, given how hard she's worked to actually become like a respected and acknowledged and like understood kind of scientist, and actually to be a scientist that actually can make strides in a positive way and actually use her science and her resources to actually help people. Then all of a sudden being told that she comes from like a bloodline of magic and myth and stuff like that. Just like even her saying like many things exist outside of rationality, and then her family and her bloodline is one of those things. So she has fought so hard. I think she's fought so hard to be a scientist and to be respected and noted scientist for so long that suddenly being told that she has abilities and she has a heritage that falls completely outside of the realm of science is just like something so new to her that she just can't really. She understandably can't process it all immediately, so she easily needs that time. But then I'm glad they finally, and I think for one thing, I'm glad they finally had like some kind of like actual reunion scene at Kara's home, because I think having that sit down talk in the Watchtower was great, and all like her saying I like even if I don't believe in magic, I believe in you, and I believe in the team, and I believe in what we do here. Like that this kind of stuff that I can see and contribute to is what matters to me. So that was cool. But then actually having Lena and Kara sitting down, just relaxing on the couch, eating dinner, and I actually can't remember if they were eating dinner, but they actually sitting on the couch and actually talking, relaxing like two normal kind of social beings and everything. Was actually really, really refreshing to see and really cool, because I think we haven't had that for the longest time. We haven't had that in the longest of times, even before the whole Phantom Zone stuff happened. So seeing them actually relaxing and actually spending time together like that was really, really fun to see. But yeah, but she I think it's only really now that she's actually still kind of struggling and still actually working towards being able to acknowledge to acknowledge that this is magic and that this is real and this is a part of her and everything. So I do then wonder, okay, so sure, at some point she's going to accept that this is a part of her, but then does that mean that she's actually going to lean into it and use it a bit more? I mean, she did say she wanted to actually try and untether the connection between Kara and Nixley, but then Kara being Kara, not Kara being Kara, but Kara actually wanting to actually still maintain that connection, actually find out, see what more she could experience and see what more she could find out. She kind of held back on that one, so I think I'm curious as to what else we might see Lena working on with her powers, and actually now that she's actually opened up to now that she actually opened up to Kara about being a witch and then having powers and being magical and everything. I'm curious as to like how soon we might see her actually kind of being encouraged or being kind of invited and welcomed into using her powers as part of the team too. So I guess we'll find out all in good time. And that Sentinel and Guardian team up there, the Alex, the Danson content, the Alex and Kelly content in this was really, really wholesome, really kind of sweet too, like and a really great continuation. That Kelly acknowledging that she's had time to process, but she hasn't really processed everything, because then once she actually started to process everything, then she realized just how much of it there was and just how much she actually had to go through and think about and deal with. So it's still a work in progress, but I think a work in progress is always a respectable and admirable kind of thing to hear about and to experience and everything. So, happy for her in that regard. But she is working through it, and she has Alex by her side at all times, in as much as humanly possible. And Alex herself is pledge to be there for, you know, love of her life, Kelly Olsen, and everything. Just seeing how sweet they were with each other in this episode, as Alex and Kelly was just. That's what I live for. That's what I live for with this show now. I think that dancing is just pretty much what I live for with this show now, with like a nice kind of like a lovely kind of side scooping of Brainy at different kind of points here and there too. But dancing is where it's at. Alex and Kelly is where it's at, with Brainy and Nia on the side too. Alex and Kelly is where it's at. So seeing them actually talking and chatting and working together and actually being sweet with one another was just really just the best thing, the best of the best things. And I think after she told Alex that she actually wouldn't be teaming up specifically with the team today, and then she was actually going to be spending time helping Orlando and Joey with their fight to find find new housing and to actually help the people find new housing too. I think because of that, I thought, okay, we are probably then going to see Kelly Olsen, but then we're not going to see Guardian, because Guardian is going to be too busy working with Orlando and Joey, so we might not see her in that regard. But then no, right at the very end of that final lightning battle, she showed up. Guardian showed up. She showed up with her suit and her helmet and her shield and her awesome, badass, beautiful self, and she showed up to actually help out the team and everything. And she did a piece, and I got that kind of rotational kind of shot of Sentinel and Guardian actually working together, like Guardian deflecting some lightning with a shield, and Sentinel using her hand of the soldier to do some stuff and everything. It's just them two working together, just absolutely everything. So that was really good to see. That was really fun to see. So that was cool, and then even by the end of it too, Alex actually having been struck by lightning, and then Kelly bandaging her up again, actually reminding her just how badass Scars are. Because Scars are badass, Scars are beautiful and badass, and some of them can have really kind of tragic backstories too. But you know, they can be amazing. They can have sad stories to them, they can have good stories to them, and they can have sometimes funny stories to them, but overall they are badass and beautiful. So, you know, Kelly's reassurance of that to her was really cool to see, and then them actually just talking about actually kind of just being together, and Alex kind of reassuring her that she was a huge part of her life that she wanted to maintain, and that she did want to, you know, actually have like equal kind of footing in her life as both Kelly and as Guardian too. Was really, really sweet to actually see and to hear and to just experience and everything. So yeah, I think Danson is undeniably going strong. They are undeniably going strong into the rear end of this final season. So I cannot wait to see what's in store for them and for Nia and for Dreamer. Hopefully a spin-off with the three of them. Hopefully a spin-off. I'm still manifesting that one. Still out here manifesting that one. So hopefully something comes into fruition. Because I think, yeah, I mean, you know, like, I think different people kind of want different things. Like, some people think that Dream would be better with their own spin-off. I think if they can do a spin-off with all three of them packed into one show, then I feel like that would be, like, maybe ideal. But I think that would also be much cooler to see as well. I think, given how they're all kind of pretty much based in the same city, and they both have the same background, similar enough backgrounds, and then they both have the same environment and like similar features moves or whatever. I feel like having them, all three of them, into one show would be the best way to watch them and stuff. And then maybe someday, some further down the line, if they want to branch out into different things, then that can happen too. But yeah, just dancing, going strong. Don't need the fingers crossed, because you know nothing bad is going to happen to either one of them, because that would be stupid to happen now. But yeah, they're keeping it strong. They are carrying the season. Or at least like the back end of the season is being carried by them being together and actually fighting together and everything. So yeah, dancing for the win. But yeah, that is pretty much it. That is pretty much all I've got from this episode. So it was a fun one. So I can't wait to see what the next one has in store. But yeah, that was Supergirl Season 6, Episode 13. So as always, thank you guys so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, and salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on Supergirl. And once again, the full-length reaction for the episode will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that over there. And yeah, that is it. So I will see you guys next time.